Yes, you know, all across America, SportsMap Radio. We are worldwide on the SportsMap Radio app. We got a lot to do over the next 3 hours. Jason Cole will join us in the 8 p.m. Pacific hour. That's 11 p.m. Eastern hour. Talk to him about what's going on around the NFL, and there's plenty to talk to, even just outside of the games, the playoff games. There's just so much going on to dissect, and we'll do that coming up with him a little later on in the show. We'll go through some of the playoff matchups and see where some of these things are crystallized. The line keeps dropping in this Cowboys 49ers game. I can't believe it. Last night, that game opened at 4.5. Cowboys plus 4.5. It's all the way down to 3. I think you got to go huge. I normally don't tell people how much to bet. I'll give you Paige's picks on Friday, and we have some fun and all that. But I got to be honest. I think I'd go huge on, if you ask me right now, and I won't place a wager. I wouldn't place a wager until much closer to game time, but at 3, I don't know how you don't go big on San Francisco. I cannot imagine why you wouldn't bet big on San Francisco when you see that line. And again, I'm a huge proponent of the Cowboys being good. I just think San Francisco is so far better, not just than Dallas. I think they're so far hands down the best team in the NFL right now. I'm willing to go that far. And I don't have the Super Bowl betting odds in front of me, but I can pull them up. I mean, San Francisco at plus 450 right now, they're the third best odds to win the Super Bowl. Kansas City's going off at plus 300. Buffalo's at plus 330. San Francisco at plus 450. And the Eagles at plus 500. The Cowboys are all the way down at plus 850. I don't know how you don't lay a wager on the 49ers at plus 450 right now. Is there a team playing better football than San Francisco? Tell me, who? Who's playing better than San Francisco right now? I think Kansas City's a great team. I think it'd be a great Super Bowl. Frankly, I think San Francisco against Kansas City, Buffalo, or Cincinnati would be a very entertaining Super Bowl. Because I'd love to see how those offenses fare against a San Francisco defense that is elite. Because so many times in those cases, the defenses are going to win out. But I'm fascinated by the fact that San Francisco game, the line keeps dropping. I can't see it going less than 3. I can't. The fact that it went from 4.5 to 3 in less than 24 hours is, I'm just stunned by it. We're keeping an eye on the NBA tonight. I just watched Milwaukee handle Toronto without Giannis Antetokounmpo and without Chris Middleton. So if you need to know about the depth that Milwaukee has, look no further than tonight's example with them getting the win at home against Toronto. And then Brook Lopez gets ejected with 6 minutes left in the game for taking off the headband of Gary Trent Jr. and some pushing and shoving and a bunch of guys asking each other where they're going out to dinner later tonight. Something like that. So we'll get into all of the NFL stuff as we go through the show. Aaron Rodgers spoke today, and I think a lot of people were interested. Look, every week when he goes on Pat McAfee, the reason it's must listen radio or must listen or must watch video, whatever, however you ingest that love fest between McAfee, AJ Hawk, and Aaron Rodgers. The reason it is because it's the only place he'll talk, because he won't do interviews anywhere else because he doesn't want to be challenged by anybody. So I've told this guy, I've told this to you guys ad nauseum, I know. But there's always new people tuning in. Aaron Rodgers goes on with Pat McAfee because Pat laughs at every single thing he says. yeah, you're the best. You're the best, Aaron. And AJ's a former teammate, so you know what you're going to get out of him there. But it's compelling because you never know what's going to come out of his mouth, whether it's I'm smoking in the jungle, whether it's doing shrooms, whether it's ayahuasca, whether it's, I don't like the way this receiving core is playing, whether it's, reporters are making things up about me. I mean, you can go on and on and on. So you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. I don't even think he knows most times what's going to come out of his mouth. But today was much different. Because today was the first time we've had a chance to hear from him since he was bounced, out of the regular season and didn't get to play in the playoffs, and now that he's sort of had a chance to let it breathe a little bit, the idea of maybe playing next year, maybe not playing next year. Listen to the Q&A between AJ Hawk here and Aaron Rodgers, and take a listen and see what you think, and we'll sort of dissect it as we go through.
Aaron, first off, I can't wait to watch you play next year. I know you didn't say that. I'm going to say that for just out of hope, and I feel like I can watch you. I can see your demeanor and your posture looks like, you're going to be ready to sling that thing. In about 2 weeks, you could probably still go right now if you wanted. But what do you make of the internet rumors or reports that they may not be in Green Bay? Is that up to you? Is that up to the team? Would you ever want to not play in Green Bay?
Great question, AJ.
Great question, AJ. My name is Pat McAfee. I suck up to everybody.
Okay.
I think when you say never, things happen that you say never to. So when I came back from the Combine in 2005, they said, "How was it?" And I said, man, it was so much fun, except for the 5 a.m., drug test the first day, and, had Cybex test, and then sitting at a MRI machine for 8 hours, with only a sandwich and an apple.
Come on.
I said, but other than that, it was pretty cool, I think all the teams are great, except for Green Bay. That was a really tough interview. They were just kind of grilling me, but it's all right. I mean, I'm never going to play there anyway. They're drafting 24th. So you be careful saying never.
Yeah.
I don't think you say never. Listen, I came back and really wanted to finish my career in Green Bay. In 2019, we, were feeling each other out on offense, and our defense played pretty damn good. And a lot of people said I was, what did I say, washed, couldn't really play anymore.
Washed, yeah.
Wasn't the same. And then I won 2 MVPs in a row.
Oh, so we got to sit here. The simple question is, are you going to play next year or not? We don't care about whether you feel scorned by the media or not. We don't care. You just came off your worst season in your career. I don't care what you did 5 years ago. I got news for you. Fans in Green Bay right now don't care what you did 5 years ago. All they want to know is, do we have a chance to win with you next year, or are we moving on to Jordan Love? That's all they care about. But instead, I got to get a minute and 10 seconds of you waxing poetic about yourself, which, by the way, you don't need to do because Pat and AJ will do it for you the entire interview.
Yeah. Is that good?
Without really doing anything different. I'm sure there's a lot of the same sentiment this year. I have a lot of comments about a lot of that I'd like to keep to myself, or I'll share, off air, just because out of respect for the whole process, and just, some things don't need to be said. I think are more understood implicitly. But
nice.
Do I still think I can play? Of course. Can I play at a high level? Yeah. The highest. I think I can win MVP again in the right situation.
The right situation. Very important to listen to the words there of Aaron Rodgers when he says, I think I can win an MVP in the right situation. So here's what this boils down to now. Again, much like the much like the situation we talked about with Lamar Jackson, where we gave the different scenarios that can play out last night on the show, which I think we did a good job doing, if I don't say so myself. Hey, if Aaron Rodgers can compliment himself for a minute and 10 seconds before answering a question, right, John Belmer, our producer, engineer extraordinaire working on the show tonight in Houston, I think I'm allowed to pat myself on the back for 5 seconds if Aaron could do it for a minute and 10, right? I thank you. Thank you. Now you got to laugh at everything I say the entire rest of the 3-hour show. You have to laugh at everything I say. You have to say, man, you're brilliant. You got to really work it up because, see, that's what good sidekicks and lackeys do. I mean, come on. Got to step up your lackey game, Belmer. Okay. Thank you. See, it's the best I could hope for. So the options here are simple for the Packers. And we'll go through those coming up in just a couple of minutes. 1-800-224-2004, 800-224-2004. You want to tweet at the show? Go ahead and do it. At the back page again on Twitter. At the back page. The options for the Packers when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. More of what he had to say today to Lackey 1 and Lackey 2. I hope I run into Pat McAfee somewhere. I really do. We're back with more of the Cash In on SportsMap Radio.